Good morning. Today's video is going to be addressing Genesis in the Christian and Jewish text. And today's video is rather interesting because it is a pattern that I have seen repeated over and over throughout these sacred scriptures, and that is one of duality. And in today's video, I'm going to address creation duality. So, to get started, chapter 1, we have God, the Ineffable One, creating the heavens, creating the earth, creating the stars and the planets, and then separating the stars and the planets from physical creation and where earth is. And we have the waters, the cosmic waters, and we have the earthly waters. Now God creates the earth and fills it with life, all different kinds of life. He fills it with trees and plants and grasses that grow on the surface. He puts birds in the air and fishes in the oceans, and he creates people. He creates light beings in his image, male and female, both. In this entire creation, we are given an estimated time frame that happens over a period of 6 years, or 6 days. Not 6 years. It was probably 6 million years. But we don't really know. We don't know God's timing versus human timing. So what we see is that in a period of 6 days, all of the heavens and the earth is created and separated. Physical creation is separate from the heavenly realms. And 6 is a very important number because it is one of the primary numbers associated with creation, with building. We have 6 as the hexagon, and as we know from the flower of life, the hexagon is the primary shape of life. So we have God, the Ineffable One, creating everything. Everything is flourishing, it is beautiful, it is perfect, and it is in the works. But we don't have where it says that God is done. We don't have anything that says God is finished. We have creation ever evolving. But then in chapter 2, we have a very different story of creation. We have the Lord God. So now we have a different God. We have the Lord God coming to planet Earth and finding it barren and lifeless, without plants, without animals, without people. And the Lord God establishes a garden. There was no garden separate from all of creation in chapter 1. But with the Lord God, there is now a special garden created where he puts water and trees and plants and animals, and he creates Adam and Eve, and they live in the garden. So why do we have 2 very different creation stories in Genesis? It's like we have 2 Genesises in one. Well, I'm going to try and explain some of it. It's a little complicated, but in chapter 1, we have the Ineffable God establishing physical creation separate from the heavenly realm. And in chapter 2, we have star people coming to this planet and establishing human and other life on this planet. It was barren, the book says. Chapter 2, it was devoid of any plant life. No seed had yet sprung. So what we are seeing is the light and the shadow. That's one aspect of it. So we have the Lord God, the star people, coming and creating humans, human-like beings on planet Earth. Now, in chapter 6, we have a confirmation of this, where we have the Nephilim, we have a different kind of star people, coming to Earth and desiring the women of Earth and marrying them and having children. And that sets forth a generation into the future of superhuman-like beings. So we have these star people, we have these, they call themselves gods, and of course, compared to humans, they are gods. But we have a different kind of star people coming and mating with the newly created humans, and they were said to have superhuman-like abilities. So we can see that through the chapters of Genesis that there is the original creation, and then there is what would be considered a shadow creation, or the star people creating, rather than God, the light, the true light, creating. There's also something very important to remember, is that the entire book of the Christian text and the Jewish text, even to include all of the mystical and magical stories of the Upanishads and the world text of stories, and that is that they are metaphors. Some of it is based in actual physical creation. Some of it is true, but just like when we say that we use a metaphor in order to help explain something, the Christian text is also a book of metaphor trying to explain creation and the variations of it over time. Now, we're not given an exact time. 6 days to God, it could be 1,000 years, could be 1,000,000 years, but to human, it's 6 days. So, we think very differently from the Ineffable One. But we also think very differently from star people, because we don't have their intellect. We don't have the knowledge that they have of millenniums of time that go by and cycle around over and over and over. So when I'm trying to explain the creation of the earth, it's a little bit confusing, because we also have within that metaphor Adam and Eve. So once again, Adam and Eve is a metaphor for, or a play on words for Adam, or atom, A-T-O-M, the building block of life. And from the building block of life, we have Eve, which is the life giver. So it's all really just a metaphor trying to explain the beginning of human life very briefly. I mean, can you imagine, in one short chapter of 30 verses explaining all of creation being made? I mean, it's impossible. So there's so much that we don't really know. And it's a very brief account of God, the Ineffable One, the true light of creation, then creating light beings, and everything is perfected. And then we have a second creation, which is the creation of human beings, of mankind on planet Earth. So I hope that helps explain a little bit more. As I have pointed out in other videos, we have two Joseph and Mary couples. One's getting married, one's getting divorced. There is this continuous duality throughout the Christian text when you really slow down and look at it. And what it is trying to reveal is the light versus the shadow. So, of course, it all blends into one, into a new life, but it refers to Kundalini. And when you awaken Kundalini, you are given the ability and knowledge to see and understand that creation is not exactly what you think. All these people trying to find the Ark of the Covenant and trying to find the 4 rivers or 3 rivers in the Middle East, they're not going to find them. They can search for eternity, and yes, there is references to ancient times, so you're going to find some artifacts, but for the most part, the star people have moved or placed things where you will not find it until it is a certain timing of God for it to be discovered. You know, just like every so often God puts a new animal, a new insect, a new species into earth creation, physical realm, and we go, wow, you know, we've discovered this new creature at the bottom of the ocean. and it's so that we can continue to learn and discover and grow as a species, so we're not bored. If we knew it all, what is there to learn and discover? Nothing, really. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you today, and you can go ahead and read Genesis, and you will see that there are 2 very different creation stories, and I hope that that gives you a little bit of insight and comfort with star people that are here on the planet, walking among you now, helping evolve human. And we come from them. We were made from them. And we have the ability to evolve, and that is what Kundalini is about. It is about the sacred tree in the center of the garden. The sacred tree is your chakra tree at the center of your garden, your house, your temple, your body. And around, spiraling around the sacred tree of knowledge of good and evil is the serpent, which is the Kundalini. And the serpent has been depicted as evil over time, but the serpent, Lord God Enki of the Anunnaki nation, actually has written in there that the serpent will not kill you, it will make you like gods. So then you are given the superhuman powers that I have alluded to in other videos to create in your realm. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and please take the time to research and read the chapters, and maybe you'll see them with fresh eyes. I hope you have a beautiful day.